Enterprise AI is entering a different phase. For the last few years, the most common question was whether employees had access to an AI assistant and knew how to prompt it. The newer question is more operational. Can a company safely let AI complete a meaningful part of a workflow, produce a reviewable result, and hand that result to a person who remains accountable? OpenAI recently published enterprise usage observations that frame this shift as a move from assistance to execution. The data comes from OpenAI itself, so it should be treated as a platform-side view rather than independent proof of the entire enterprise market. Even with that limitation, the pattern is useful because it shows how usage is changing inside organizations already working with ChatGPT and Codex. The first signal is the mix of output. OpenAI says that by June, Codex accounted for 64% of the combined output tokens generated by Codex and ChatGPT among its enterprise customers. Output tokens are not the same as productivity, quality, or business value, so this number should not be treated as a return on investment metric. But it does suggest that a growing share of AI activity is associated with systems designed to perform longer, multi-step work rather than simply answer a question. The second signal is a widening usage gap. OpenAI defines the top 10% of monthly enterprise AI users as frontier firms and compares them with firms around the middle of the distribution. It reports that output per active user at frontier firms reached 8.3 times the level at typical firms in June. In January, the difference was 2.6 times. Again, more tokens do not automatically mean better results. The important point is that adoption depth does not appear to be converging. Some organizations are integrating AI into much more of their daily work while others remain at a lighter, assistant-style level. What creates that difference? The evidence points to integration depth, not courage alone. A chat window can help an employee brainstorm, summarize, or rewrite. An execution-oriented system has access to approved company context, connects to relevant tools, follows a repeatable process, and returns an artifact that can be checked. OpenAI reports higher usage of plugins and skills at frontier firms. Its examples describe agents collecting information from multiple sources and drafting a report for human review. The dividing line is therefore not simply whether leaders are bold enough to hand work to AI. It is whether the organization has built the permissions, context, tool connections, review standards, and governance needed to delegate that work responsibly. This matters well beyond software engineering. OpenAI reports that since February, weekly active enterprise Codex users grew 108 times in legal, 41 times in sales, 41 times in recruiting, 26 times in marketing, and 5 times in engineering. These growth multiples can be influenced by small starting bases and should not be read as market share. Still, the direction is notable. Document-heavy and process-heavy knowledge work is becoming a major testing ground for agentic AI. Consider a legal workflow. The safe goal is not to let an AI make an unsupervised legal decision. A better first step is to let it collect approved source material, compare a document against a checklist, and prepare a clearly cited draft for a qualified reviewer. In sales, an agent might assemble account context from an approved CRM, summarize recent interactions, and draft a meeting brief. In recruiting, it might organize interview notes under an agreed rubric without making the final hiring decision. In marketing, it could collect campaign evidence and prepare a first performance narrative. Each example has a clear input boundary, a reviewable output, and a human decision point. OpenAI also observes that earlier career employees use AI more actively while usage declines at higher job levels. That does not prove that junior employees always use AI better, or that leadership is disengaged. It does suggest a practical risk. Executives may believe their organizations are adopting AI because they approve tools and training, while the real operating knowledge remains scattered among individual employees. If those useful practices are not converted into shared workflows, the company cannot evaluate, govern, or scale them. So what should a manager do next? Start with 3 tasks, not a company-wide transformation slogan. Choose work that is frequent, document-based, and easy for a human to review. Define the permitted data sources and tools. Specify the output format and the quality checklist. Keep approval with a named person. Record failures as well as successes. Then measure whether the workflow reduces cycle time or improves consistency without creating unacceptable risk. For developers and operations teams, the challenge is moving beyond prompt design. The durable interface includes identity, permissions, retrieval, tool access, structured outputs, audit logs, evaluations, and escalation rules. A polished demo is not the same as a reliable production process. The system must fail safely when context is missing, a tool returns unexpected data, or the requested action exceeds its authority. For individual employees, the immediate upgrade is from asking to delegating. Instead of requesting a generic answer, provide the background, goal, approved sources, required format, and review criteria. Ask the AI to produce a first complete artifact that you can inspect. That shift makes the work easier to evaluate and teaches you where human judgment is still essential. The larger lesson is straightforward. Enterprise AI maturity is no longer defined by access alone. The organizations pulling ahead appear to be connecting AI to real context and reusable workflows while retaining permissions, review, and accountability. OpenAI's numbers are not the final verdict on the market, but they are a strong signal about the direction of travel. The new dividing line is not who can chat with AI. It is who can safely turn AI output into reviewable work.